years to actually get into therapy. Um, and we can do that for one another. There is an essential, beautiful self that was born inside every human being. And the more we see that and reflect that back to one another and feed that to each other with respect, with care, with safety, with a commitment to nonviolent conflict resolution, to providing for each other, to cooperating with each other, through celebrating diversity rather than, judging it. Um, all these ways are ways that we actually bring to life, spark the flame inside someone that's already there for them to become their most beautiful essential self who will be safe for other human beings and a contribution to the whole.
So, in summary, are we then saying that if somebody is not treating you well, is because they themselves don't feel good within? So then they don't have anything good to offer, or then they can't love you or treat you well because they feel by themselves they are not even being loved, or they don't feel love within, in
I
summary.
I think that is a really good conclusion, and it's part of what I talk about. And it's an important one. The person may not be aware that they don't feel good about themselves, because often people who have had kind of dominating role models, like this is what you do. You dominate people to win the argument, to get what you want from them, and to be, to come out on top. Many people have that role model for them as just the way you're supposed to be, and that's how you succeed. So they wouldn't necessarily tell you that they don't feel good about themselves. But what I have found from years of working with hundreds and hundreds of people is that what you're saying is actually true. That inside, somewhere inside, either conscious or unconscious, are experiences and perceptions of self that a person has taken on that are not positive. And they're also trying to survive the best they can, sometimes in very, very dangerous ways. Um, so I'll say this in a nutshell, that what I have found as a psychotherapist that I think many people really don't realize today, and we need to realize if we want to interrupt the cycle of abuse and neglect on a society level, as well as in an individual family level, is that inside the perpetrator is a victim that is unhealed. And I really believe that bringing America to therapy means that we start to look at people that way. We start to totally revamp, for instance, our criminal justice system to be oriented toward helping people really heal from the traumas that set them up to act out in the first place. We may not be able to do that with every single person, but that can be where we invest our money rather than in just building more prisons, which is a horrible way to deal with what we're doing. And
Exactly.
some of the, just to answer that question, what does it mean to bring America to therapy? So it means that we can look at what's happened to us that we're reacting to, but we also take responsibility for what we've done to hurt masses of people within our own country as well as around the world, and take responsibility for that. I would say one of the key elements of the best psychotherapy is that we learn to take responsibility for ourselves and not keep pointing the finger of blame at other people, um, no matter what they've done. And people have done terrible things, but if we take responsibility for ourselves, that's how we break the cycle. And part of that, and I love to say this because I think it wouldn't, it's not that far fetched, but it may be. And that is that I would love to see in the upper reaches of government, Congress, for instance, that we have a commitment to actually speak to one another when we're in disagreement, with respect, with some kind of openness to a different point of view, and bottom line, with a desire to come to some agreement that is in the best interest of everyone. Because we know in an individual family, if the parents are hostile to one another and they're fighting all the time and they're slamming doors or they're walking out or they're saying horrible things about each other to their children, that the children suffer and
Yeah.
they become